Welcome to Traveling Oracle, the magical podcast, where we talk energetics, spirituality, and how you can use this etheric knowledge to drastically change, transform, and up-level all areas of your life. Are you ready for the glow up? Let's go. Hello, my loves, and welcome back to Traveling Oracle, a magical podcast. It is a beautiful day to change lives, and I cannot wait to get into today's podcast / YouTube series episode because it's one that I feel like is often left off in the spiritual community or the self-development community. We like to talk a lot about the mind and mindset and subconscious stories and connecting to spirit guides and connecting with the spirit world and all these in the air concepts. But the thing we often forget to talk about is the body. What role does the body play in all of this? What role does this vessel play in mindset? What role does this vessel play in the success that we seek in this lifetime? What role does the body play in channeling our spiritual gifts, in connecting with the spiritual world? What is the role of the body? And so, y'all, I have a little confession to make though before I start. So I'm in Milan right now, and the temperature is kind of hot, cold, and I have a bit of a sniffle. It's not like I'm not sick, but I have some sort of a sniffle, right? And my friend, she's always like, look, I have like antihistamines. I have like all this stuff. You should take some. And I hate taking things. I really do. But this time I thought to myself, okay, I'm really blocked up. I'm going to take one. And y'all, now I'm unblocked. I'm clear. I'm good. But I am so tired. And antihistamines tend to make me sleepy. So I'm recording this episode while dying to be in my bed. Like, my eyes are closing. Like, most of the time you're gonna see my eyes closed, which happens anyway when I'm channeling. But, ooh, child, it's a struggle. It is a struggle today. But nevertheless, we push through. So, but you know what? Before we start, let me invite some divine energy in the room. I ask that all the spiritual beings that travel with me for my good to come in this room right now and help me to channel the messages that are needed to transform lives. Thank you, Holy Spirit, for always being with me. Thank you, God, for always protecting me. Help me to connect to the spiritual team for those who are watching so that I can deliver accurate and needed messages for their transformation. Okay. Ooh, there's a lot coming through about the body for you all. There's tons coming through. Okay, so the first thing is, the body is one of your most prized possessions in the world. It's one of the only things that you truly own in this lifetime. And it's a super important tool for you to move through life. And so many of us don't understand it, don't connect to it, don't really give it the time of day that we should. And what do I mean? Your body is literally the way you move through the world. Your body is literally the way that you interact with your loved ones. It's the way that you go through the world and earn money for a living. It's the way that you channel your gifts. It's the thing that houses your soul. It's the vessel that houses your spirit. It's the vessel through which the divine energy that is your soul travels through this 3D world. If your soul is separated from your body, most times it's because you're dead. I mean, we have astral projection and all those other things, but in generally speaking, well, even in those instances, even though you're not dead, you're still in sort of like a slumber, right? If your soul is separated from your body no longer really works, because the soul is the thing that helps the body to function, right? Not helps. The soul is the thing that causes the body to function. But without the body, the soul cannot interact with the 3D world. And so it's like this really important vehicle that separates life and death. That's crazy. The body is this really important vehicle that keeps us in the land of the living. It's the thing that separates life from death. It is the veil that separates the spiritual world from the physical world. Thank you. That's such an interesting concept that I never thought about until now. It's literally the veil that separates spirituality or the spiritual world from the physical world. And so, if you are someone who's interested in honing your spiritual gifts, connecting to your spiritual gifts, the key for you to do so is mastery of your body. Mastery of your body. And it's really interesting because when I was in Bali, my spiritual gifts were on another level. They were on a level that I was just like, what is going on? The things that were manifesting in front of me, the things that I could do were like strengthened times 10. And looking back, I've come to London. I was in London for the past 6 months. I felt like less powerful in my spiritual gifts. And I looked at the two scenarios, 6 months in Bali, 6 months in London. What was the difference? The difference was that in Bali, I was in tune with my body. I was getting up almost every day, if not every day, every other day, and going to do workouts, working out my body every day. I would do yoga. If it's not in the morning, I would catch yoga in the evening. And I don't mean like 45 minutes of yoga, like hitting combos and going crazy and sweating. I mean either do a sun salutation in the morning that took me 10, 15 minutes, or I would do a moon salutation in the evening that literally took me 6 to 8 minutes to do that. But that made a difference because I was moving my body. And here's the thing, a lot of us, rewind. Here's the thing. The reason why a lot of us have spiritual gifts and are even just are very connected to our intuition, but we can't grow it. Or for some of us, we feel blocked. We can't feel the things that other people feel spiritually is because we're blocked in our bodies. Your body, you have your physical body, but you also have your energetic body, right? Your soul, your energetic body. And in that energetic body, if you're not someone who does healing work on yourself to clear out all the energetic crap that we've stored up since childhood, if you're not someone who's moving your body, what tends to happen is you store negative emotions and negative energies all across your energy body. And this manifests itself in many ways in our lives. Have you ever heard of like idiopathic illnesses? Idiopathic means that the doctors can't tell what's causing this disease or this illness. The illness is clearly there in your body. You're clearly afflicted with the illness, but the doctors can't find the root cause. Whereas an illness might normally be caused by X, Y, and Z factors. When they look into those factors, you don't have those factors. So why is this showing up in your body? A lot of times it's because of the emotions and trauma that we store in our body. Another way it really shows up in the physical body is in like back pain. A lot of people have serious back pain, serious pains in different parts of their body that are not as a result of an injury. You didn't hit your hip. You didn't like throw out your back lifting something heavy, but for years you've had chronic back pain. A lot of this is emotion stored in our body. And here's the thing. Especially us women, I can't even say that because men do this a lot too. You know, as we grow up, we're told that we're not supposed to have certain reactions. We're not supposed to behave in a certain way. And so when experiences come our way that elicit a negative emotion or a negative reaction for you, you react in the way that you're told societally is acceptable. You pretend it's okay, like I'm good, like oh my gosh, this was a terrible situation, but I'm good, and you push those emotions down. And you push those emotions down and you don't feel them anymore, and you're like, yeah, I handled that great. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. You have not been taught how to properly cope with traumatic experiences, especially when you're younger, but a lot of us as adults as well. We're not taught how to cope properly with emotionally traumatic experiences or just simply regular things that happen to us through the day that elicit emotion from us, right? And so we push down the emotions or we push the emotions away and we try not to feel them. And when we achieve the result of not feeling them, we think we've dealt with them. But what you've done is you push them deep down into your soul and it's down there somewhere festering. It's down there stuck, right? And so a lot of us as adults, we have all this emotion, negative trauma stored in our body. And because we don't exercise or we don't do any activities at all to move energy through our body, it's like our body is an energetic dump, like an energetic wasteland for negative experiences and negative energy. And so a lot of us, when we, depending on your religion, if you go to church or you're just simply more spiritual and you do a lot of meditation or try to start doing healing work, you'll feel nothing. You'll feel nothing because you have layers and layers and layers of emotions way deep down, and it's covered under this wall of numbness to protect yourself from feeling those emotions. And so how do we start to get these things flowing through our energetic body and start getting them out of our energetic body? We have to connect with our body through movement. Because here's the thing, even in Awaken, when we attacked this week, and I'm going to interject and add here, Awaken launches tomorrow. Awaken launches tomorrow. And the second week in Awaken, we talk about the body and how it relates to everything in life, right? And in one of those modules, I talk about the fact that the mind and the spirit, they're all like intellectual, in the air type concepts, but when it comes to the body is all about action. So you can't think your way out of connecting with your body. You can't think your way through moving energies in your body. You also actually have to do physical work. You have to physically move your body. And so one of the most regular things that we can do is exercise. Everybody knows that exercise, moving your body. What you might not know is that exercise also helps to move energy through your body as you're doing motions, especially like weighted exercises that you're lifting heavy weights, exercises where you're moving your body in different positions. So jogging and stuff is great for your health in general. But when it comes to moving energy, that weight is super important, and moving in different poses with that weight is super important. Another thing that's really, really, really good about for moving energy is yoga. Yoga is specifically designed to move energy through your body. And when I started, I used to have a misconception about yoga coming from the Western side of the world. Whenever you see anything with yoga, what you would see is a skinny, blonde, white lady, hidden poses and being bendy, right? That's what was portrayed in the media, in the movies, on social media. And it wasn't until I went to Asia when I saw the true depth and significance of yoga, where it was more about being meditative and connecting with your inner soul and connecting with your body and slowly moving through poses and what the different poses did and how the different poses moved energy through your body. Yoga is such a powerful mover of energy. And what I noticed is when I started to do it in Bali, I am someone who I normally have low energy. And as I started to do it, after about 2 weeks, my energy levels, the baseline of my energy levels just rose. Because I used to have good energy in the morning, and then by afternoon, I'd have this slump that might pick up later in the evening. But I always used to have this afternoon slump. And my energy levels would go down to its lowest point. When I started to do yoga, what I noticed was that lowest point was no longer down here. My lowest point was up here. And so I had energy, period. I had energy no matter what. And I was like, whoa, that's absolutely crazy. So if you're someone who suffers from chronically low energy, yoga is something that's super important for you. And in particular, I would recommend yin yoga. That's the slower type yoga where you hold poses for longer and you really allow your body to integrate and feel that energy moving. So yeah, so there's exercise, there's yoga. Another thing that's super easy if both of those options are just too hardcore for you is taking mindful walks in nature. Mindful walks in nature where you're walking through nature and you are thinking consciously about your body and moving energy, because nature is a natural mover of energy. Nature, as you walk, you're connecting with the energy of everything that is, everything that has been, and everything that will be. And that connection will automatically move energy through you. That that walk is going to be grounding for you, especially if you reach to a space in the park where you feel like it's safe to take off your shoes and maybe walk on the grass as you go. That's super grounding for your body. That's super grounding for your body and your spirit. Walks will always like really supercharge your spiritual practice and even your mindset, because nature is expansive in energy. If you're upset and you go for a walk, your mood will shift. You will even find that sometimes you're able to solve the issue on the walk. That's because that energy is moving from the earth. Because the earth itself, when I close my eyes and I think about the earth energetically, I can see in the middle of the earth, there's this ball of energy. And that ball of energy is super supporting. When you think about the fact that the earth literally supports us all, the earth literally supports all energy, all growth, all life on this planet. When you put a seed in the earth, cover it, and put some water, what happens? It sprouts. Life is given to that seed by virtue of connection to the earth, by virtue of connection to the energy of the earth. There's this energy in the middle of the earth that supports us all. And if that energy were to be destroyed or to go haywire, all life on earth will cease to exist. When you think about the fact that the oxygen we breathe in comes from trees that are grown from the earth, the carbon dioxide that we breathe out that's toxic to us is taken in by the trees that's grown and supported and rooted in the earth. Like everything we need to survive is provided by the earth. And that's why the earth is the ultimate grounding and supporting energy. And I always recommend doing a grounding meditation where you ground your body, you ground your spirit to the earth's energy. Because if you are suffering from anxiety, if you're feeling fearful, if something has happened today that's thrown you off your balance, a quick grounding meditation where you connect to the earth will always stabilize your energy and stabilize your emotions. But the other reason why nature is such a grounding force and why nature is such a good thing for our baseline in spirituality is because it also helps to shift the frequency of our bodies. Because here's the thing about the body. There's the fact that it holds energy, and it can really hold negative energy and stop the flow of energy in our body. But also the fact that our body resonates at different frequencies. I'm going to really quickly look at my chart for all the frequencies. At the bottom below the midpoint for the frequencies, you have shame, guilt, apathy, grief, fear, anger, pride. Those are the lower frequency emotions. And I want to point out that the lower frequencies show up in our physical world, in our body, in our minds, and our spirits as emotions, right? And so when you're feeling lower frequencies, what it will manifest as, or when you're vibrating at lower frequencies, it will manifest as you moving through the world in fear, you moving through the world in anxiety and depression, you moving through the world from a place of these negative emotions where you might have a good day today, but for some reason, as soon as you get back home, you're back into this depressed state. When you get back home, you're back in this anxious state. Or it's like, whenever your baseline is any of these negative emotions, it's an indication that your energy body, your physical body, and your mind, you're resonating at the frequency of negative emotions. And something like nature walks will automatically raise your frequency higher and higher, because nature resonates and vibrates at higher frequencies by default. Like nature is the ultimate source of higher level frequencies. And what are the higher level frequencies? We have willingness, acceptance, reason, love, joy, peace, enlightenment. When you're living in a state of happiness, which we are humans, right? So no one's always in a state of happiness. Life will always throw us crappy things to bring us back. But when you're aware of this frequency chart, when you're aware of vibrations, you can consciously say to yourself, okay, this crappy thing has happened to me in life. Am I going to stay in this frequency of anger, of hatred, of fear, of anxiety? Or am I going to choose, after feeling those feelings and acknowledging that it is valid and okay for me to feel those feelings, but I will not stay and live and make my bed in those feelings. You can then do an activity to help you move from that negative space, from those negative frequencies, into a more positive state, into more positive frequencies where you can foster creation and happiness and just function from a better place, if that makes sense. Because we all know that person where one bad thing happens and their week is bad. One bad thing happens and their month is bad. Like they're in a negative place for days and days and days when something bad happens. And what we want to do is get away from that practice of allowing negative experiences to dictate the way we move through life. Look at them as little flies. You just they're buzzing across you. You just hit them out of the way. Just hit them out of the way. They're just flies. Just like shoo them. And refuse to stay and live in a state of unhappiness, in a state of negative vibration. And it takes time, it takes practice, but if you consistently interrupt yourself when you're in that negative space and do an activity to what I call transmute that energy, do an activity to take yourself from that energy of negativity and negative frequencies and move into positive frequencies, you will be like a manifesting machine. There is this challenge that I saw on TikTok that a few people are doing that I found very interesting. It started with this girl who decided that for, I can't remember if it's 30 or 60 days, she's going to pretend to herself that she's a millionaire. Everything she does, she's going to do it from the place of, I'm a millionaire and I can do this, and that. No matter what, she's going to always reinforce to herself for 60 days that she's a millionaire. The way in which her life changed from that, the way in which her bank account increased from that practice, she didn't turn into a millionaire, but her bank account drastically increased. And I'm like, listen, anything that will increase my bank account by $1 more than it is, in positive way, of course, is welcomed in my world. But not only did she receive monetary value from that practice, she realized that her overall feeling and her overall level of happiness increased. Her relationships improved. Everything in her life took a turn for the better just by pretending to herself in her mind that she was a millionaire. And some of you are saying, well, money doesn't solve all problems. Honey, no one says it solves all problems, but it solves majority of the problems. Because if you get sick right now, or anyone you love gets sick right now, try to pay for their treatment with good thoughts only. You need to have money. And I feel like a lot of us are in this weird mindset about money doesn't bring happiness. Honey, I am much happier laying in a plush bed with plush comforters than on a cot in some cold room, right? Money affords me the ability to buy things that I love and that make me feel good. It allows me to buy food that I need to sustain my energy. Like, where is food free? Like where? I mean, there are still some cultures in the world where even if you're poor, like people will share food with you or make sure that you eat. But in majority of our cultures, especially where I'm from, if you don't have money, you don't eat. If you don't have money, you are going to be homeless and live on the street. If you don't have money, you can't pay for your education. So we need to really move from this mindset of money not being important, because I feel like it's a mindset that's been fed to us by those who have money to keep us in a state of not having money. Like, you need money for your life. Not only that, if I don't have money, how can I help people around me who need help? How can I help a friend of mine who is going through a difficult time and is about to get kicked out of her house if I also don't have money and I'm about to get kicked out of my house? Do you know what I mean? We need to move from these mindsets that we're just fed. Money doesn't buy happiness. This, and that. It's just like, really analyze the things that you're being told and see if they make sense. Because if my parent gets sick, if my mom or my dad or my brother gets sick right now and needs treatment that's super expensive, I need to be able to find that money to pay for that treatment to make sure that my loved one is okay. Money is important. Let's move from that mindset, because I feel like that's definitely the mindset that's keeping a lot of us down in this strife and not having enough. It's like it's not okay to not have enough, and nobody should move through the world not having enough. And the way to transform that energy is by understanding that money is important, and it is important to have enough. It is important to be abundant. It is important to live a life where you are comfortable, and there's no shame in that. Anyway, that's like a side note. Where was I? Frequencies in the body. I was at frequencies in the body. So in addition to the energy body and storing energy, the other thing is just remembering that we vibrate and resonate at different frequencies. And it's important to ask yourself on a daily basis, where am I vibrating right now? And how can I turn that around? How can I shift that vibration? What activity can I do? Another activity that's super easy and super fun is turning on music, high vibe music, music that makes you feel good. You cannot be dancing around in your room, having fun and dancing, and be in a state of low vibration. Like once that music comes on and you start moving your body and you start feeling happy, you just, that emotion of happiness and joy and fun will automatically raise your vibration to higher levels. And so I just want to leave that with you guys to think about how your body relates to how you feel, how your body relates to spirituality, because the way it relates to spirituality is that in lower vibrations, you're resonating at the level of lower vibrational entities. Not only lower vibrational entities, but lower vibrational experiences. And so what happens to us is a lot of us get stuck in this negative feedback loop where maybe our surroundings are not what we want. Maybe, you're living in an apartment and it's not really your dream apartment, or in your life, you just keep having negative experience after negative experience and nothing works out for you. Or in relationships, you keep attracting toxic partners and you keep having toxic relationships. And so because you see all these negative things happening in your life over and over and over again, you feel negative thoughts as a result of those situations. And because you're feeling negative thoughts and negative emotions, you attract negative experiences into your life. And then because you attract those negative experiences, you're seeing them and you're feeling those negative emotions. And so you're trapped in this little negative loop of seeing and experiencing negative things, then feeling negative emotions, then attracting negative experiences, then seeing negative things. And so you're trapped in this negative feedback loop that you cannot break. And so you're going in this negative circle of attracting, seeing, feeling negative things. And it's like, I'm hearing a message that somebody listening needs to figure out, where in that loop can you break the cycle? Because it's a complete loop that's just going on its own. And what you have to do is figure out, where are you going to break that cycle? Is it in your environment and what you see? Is it in your feelings? Or is it in what you attract? And for me, when I recognized that loop, the easiest place for me to break that loop was in feelings. And so even though I was still in a shitty apartment that I hated, that didn't make me feel good, and I saw negative experiences in my life, and I had negative things happening in my relationships, I decided to cut the loop there and change the way I feel about things, even though I didn't see physically the reason to. Right? I said, even though everything around me is crappy right now, even though I'm having crappy experiences, I am going to choose to shift my mindset, shift my emotions, shift how I'm feeling from day to day to something positive, to something that I love, to something that I enjoy. So every day when I came home in the shitty apartment that I hated, I would say, oh, this is such a beautiful apartment. I would start creating affirmations in my daily life. This is such a beautiful apartment. I feel so inspired in this space. This is so lovely. Then I would find the things in this apartment that I actually do like. I love the way the walls are painted, the colors that they're painted. It's so inspiring. It's so la la la. I love the way that the apartment is always warm, even though outside is cold. And I shifted my mindset in the midst of things that I disliked. And because I found that interrupter in the loop and I shifted my mindset, now I was in a positive mindset. Now I was speaking positive emotions over my life daily. I started to attract experiences that matched the emotions and the affirmations that I was repeating daily. And because I was attracting those positive experiences, those experiences that fill me up and make me happy and bring me joy, my experiences are now joyful. And because my experiences are now joyful, my surroundings started to reflect that. I started to find apartments that I love that were in my price range. Like, things started to shift and I was able to shift my physical world. And that's the importance of your body, because your body is literally a magnet, and whatever frequency it's resonating at is what it will attract to you. So where are you vibrating today? Are you vibrating in a space of all men are garbage, all men are toxic, and all men cheat? If you are, that's what's going to show up in your experience. For me, even, I realized subconsciously I was vibrating at a place of abandonment, that all men abandon me. And so what I would attract is men who were really interested in me, but would abandon me in the end. And so I realized, and I started to turn that pattern around. Where are you vibrating when it comes to your career? What energy are you vibrating at when it comes to money and wealth? Are you vibrating at a space of money is no good, nobody needs money to be happy, I can be happy without money? Well, perhaps that's why you never have money. Perhaps that's why you can't move into a nicer area or have nicer things in your apartment or go out and travel a lot and have those great experiences, because you're vibrating of a frequency of money is not important and I don't need it. And if that's the frequency you're vibrating at, then money won't come to you because you don't need it and it's not good. Why would the universe send you something that you don't need and is not good for you? You see where I'm coming from? Like, what vibration are you vibrating at? What frequency are you resonating at? I'm going to leave that there with you. I feel like that's a lot of things for you to take in and think about. And if you're someone who wants to work more on your vibration, work more on your mindset and your subconscious mind, work more on connecting with the spiritual world and your spiritual team, Awakened will blow your mind. It is the hottest thing out there right now for balancing your mind, your body, your spirit. Awakened will blow your mind because it will help you to change your frequency. It will help you to raise your frequency. It will help you to heal your subconscious programming. It will help you to clear the negative energy out of your body. It will help you to connect with your spiritual team, connect with things that will help you guide you on the path to success, guide you on the path to a life of your dreams, a life that you've only ever dreamt of. And so I'm going to be doing Awakened on a rolling basis. Our first round starts tomorrow, actually. And so I'm going to allow people to still get in the whole of this week. And so if you're really interested, in the show notes, you're going to see a link to Awakened. In YouTube, you'll see a link to Awakened in the description. Sign up and changes around the corner for many people here because you're here listening to this podcast or watching this YouTube series. Why? Because I embody transformational energy and I attract people who need transformation and are ready for transformation in their lives. And so I cannot wait to see what transformation is happening for you. And I would love to hear back from you if even from listening to these podcasts, these free resources that I provide, you're starting to see change in your life. You're starting to shift your mindset and you're starting to see things shift in your physical world. Put a comment below, send me an email. I would love to hear from you. All right, I am gonna go and start my day / get in bed because I'm super sleepy. Okay, love you guys and I'll see you in my next episode. Mwah.